Welcome to one of the past HSC exam question videos. In this video, we're going to cover this exam question, which comes from the 2007 paper, and it's question 2019, and it's worth 6 marks. So I'll read the question in a second. Once I read the question, about 5 seconds to pause the video. Once you pause the video, attempt the question, and then press play when you're ready. I'll go over sample answer and the marking guidelines for every single question. Alright, so the question is: name one example of a disease caused by a macroparasite, worth 1 mark. List 2 features of prions that distinguish them from protozoans, that's worth 2 marks. Most pathogens must be transmitted to and enter the body before they trigger an immune response. Relate the statement to a named infectious disease you have studied. And that's worth 3 marks. Alright, so when you're ready, press pause and attempt the question. Welcome back. Right, so for the top question, it says name one example of a disease caused by macroparasite. The marking guideline is quite straightforward. It says you should need to correctly name the disease caused by macroparasite. That will get you your 1 mark out of 1. In this case, what I wrote is tapeworm disease is caused by a tapeworm. I think if anyone needs to remember one more, because you should have one for macroparasites, this one would be a pretty easy one to remember, tapeworm disease by tapeworm. But if you said any other one which is also caused by macroparasite, you also get 1 mark. Alright, next one was list 2 features of prions that distinguish them from protozoans. Remember, distinguish means tell the difference, so we need to have features that show that they're different. So the marking guideline says correctly identify distinguishing features of prions from protozoa. So features as opposed to feature. So if you have 2 features, you'll get 2 marks out of 2. If you have 1, you get 1 mark out of 2. So what I wrote is prions or it's meant to be prions are non-living protein that are non-cellular. So they're non-living proteins that are non-cellular, whereas protozoans are living and they're prokaryotic cells. So this is, you've got your 2 features here, 2 here and 2 here, and you're comparing them. So that will get you your full marks most definitely, right? But obviously there'd be a couple more you could have said as well. But basically you just should have 2 features that distinguish them. So how they're different. Alright, so then the next one was most pathogens must be transmitted to enter the human body before they trigger immune response. Relate the statement to named infectious disease you've studied. So you need to first of all name the disease, whatever it was, right? Talk about how it, the mode of transmission, that's talking about how it moved from one to another, from one person to another, for example. So air, contact, and that kind of stuff, so how it got there. Then where it entered, right? So how or where it entered the body. And then the immune response, so what did the humans do to try to fight off, what did our body do to try to fight off the actual infection? And a bit about each of these will get you your full marks. So what I wrote is the influenza virus can enter the nose or mouth with air. So here I've named the disease, plus I've said it can be transmitted through the air, plus I've already given some idea of the area of entry. But I go on, so this will be my first, I get some marks for this. Then I say, if they manage to bypass the first line defense, they can enter the bloodstream. So this is an area where they get into a body, into the bloodstream, where they can invade body cells. They can also invade the cells of the trachea, giving you a throat infection, right? So this is another area where they can actually get into a body, either at the trachea or at the bloodstream. So these are 2 possible areas of entry. So now I've gotten 2 marks out of 3. But I still need to talk about the actual response that our body can do against the infection. And that would be when they invaded the body cells or have been detected by white blood cells, they can trigger the immune response, which can include specialized lymphatic responses, so it's just a specialized immune response. And also, again, I just added this to make sure I've got something else there as well. And they also trigger the non-specific phagocytes and inflammation response. This was the host response to the actual infection, right? And this will also get me a mark. So where did these questions come from? They came from these syllabus dot points. So the top one, name one disease caused by a macroparasite, came from this one. So we've got the macroparasites here, and then we have the type of disease caused by this pathogen, right? The second one is 2 features that distinguish the prions from protozoa, also came from the same dot point. We've got distinguish between here prions and here protozoa, so this is asking us to be able to tell the difference between the 2. And then most pathogens must be transmitted, that came from this dot point where you have to have a name, so you talk about a named infectious disease, right? Talk about its cause, its transmission, and the host response. And that's basically what this is asking. And also, I mean, a bit of it can come from this dot point as well, where you talk about the inflammation response and phagocytosis, etc. Right? Hope that was useful.